stomach grows into my throat. It's just not something you expect to see.
The whole thing was the most bizarre sight I've ever seen. It was quite astonishing.
Equally astonishing, Dan was still fully conscious and relatively calm. However, as surgeons knew only too well, within his abdominal cavity there could be life-threatening damage to major organs.
If you had a stab wound to the main blood vessel in the body, the aorta, that would cause a patient to bleed to death. But even more difficult to deal with is the main vein in the body, the so-called inferior vena cava, that just flows out in some torrential hemorrhage, which is very, very difficult to stop indeed.
So long as the pole stayed in there, he was in danger. But surgery held huge risks too.
I remember the surgeon saying to me, this could be, really serious.
You don't know, for example, if the object might be sticking into the blood vessel and actually plugging the hole, so the moment you pull the object out, the bleeding starts and the patient dies on the operating table. So the potential for bleeding catastrophe was very serious.
But now, as medics prepared to delicately remove the pole from his abdomen, they made the most amazing discovery.
There was no entry into the abdominal cavity at all because we could see the spike actually running down his belly wall and coming out, and it hadn't gone inside.
Thanks to an outrageous stroke of luck, the pole had somehow passed through Dan's entire lower body without hitting a single organ, which, given what's down there, was fortunate to say the least.
An inch or two to the right, into the middle, and it would have taken out all his urethra, his penis, his testicles, and would have rather spoiled his marriage prospects, not to mention making him probably permanently incontinent. An inch further backwards, and it would have gone up his rectum and into his bowel, into his intestine, perforated all his guts. So the potential area was very, very dangerous indeed.
And how did this miracle come to pass? Well, even the surgeons don't have a definite answer.
It is astonishing that he suffered so little injury. Really, we have no explanation for what happened. It's possible, I think, that the large pubic bone somehow deflected the spike, so it didn't actually penetrate the body cavity.
Once they could see there was no major internal damage, surgery suddenly became a surprisingly simple process.
In the end, we just got hold of it and pulled it out, and nothing happened.
To this day, Daniel's surgeon is amazed at how his patient came through this experience unscathed.
He had a 1 in a million chance of this happening and Dan surviving without any lasting injury, was what he said to me.
He was one very, very lucky boy.
I've never seen a case like this before, and I don't expect to see one ever again.